With the World Baseball Classic for 2026 being right around the corner, it is time for us to hop in some of the nitty gritty of the World Baseball Classic, and in particular, I want to hop in to World Baseball Classic host cities. And this topic goes deep. There's actually a lot of host cities that I didn't even know hosted a World Baseball Classic before I started doing research for this video. So before you get into this, I want you to ask yourself, how many host nations or territories do you think have hosted World Baseball Classic games? And if for some crazy reason you said 7, you are a certified ball knower. There have been 7 nations or territories that have hosted World Baseball Classic games, and I want to get into the first one right away, and we're starting off hot with Canada. In 2009, Canada hosted Pool C of the World Baseball Classic. Teams included are Canada, the United States, Italy, and Venezuela. On the downside, Canada did go 0-2 in front of the home crowd, which is a huge bummer. But no shade to Canada, because going into this next tournament, they are looking solid. But let me get back on topic. The venue of choice for Canada in the 2009 World Baseball Classic was Rogers Centre, home of the Toronto Blue Jays, and that's where they play today. Rogers Centre total capacity is 39,000. With the close proximity of the United States, how easy it is to get a venue, and some of the notable Canadian players in the league today, I do think that the World Baseball Classic will eventually return to Canada. Moving on from Canada, I do want to hop into our next nation, which is going to be the easiest, the United States of America. The United States of America has hosted a bracket in every single World Baseball Classic tournament so far, and in the 2026 edition, we'll be having 2 different cities hosting games, which is going to be Houston and Miami. Also to note with the United States of America, every championship game for the World Baseball Classic has been hosted in the United States of America as well. Then quickly, I'm going to read off a list of all the host cities that have ever hosted any World Baseball Classic games in the United States of America. And a lot of these surprised me. I definitely consider myself a little bit of a ball knower, but I did not know some of these cities ever hosted World Baseball Classic games until I started doing research for this video. And the cities that have hosted World Baseball Classic games in the US of A are Orlando, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Anaheim, San Diego, Los Angeles, Miami, and San Francisco. So I wouldn't expect anything to change host-wise for the USA. Going into future tournaments, there's always going to be a USA bracket, and I don't see anything in the foreseeable future that would ever say that there would not be a USA bracket. Alright, and staying on the North American side, we are going to hop into our next country here, and we're going to head south, Mexico. Mexico has hosted 2 tournaments, one in 2009 and one in 2017. In the 2017 tournament where Mexico hosted, it would be Mexico, Italy, Venezuela, and Puerto Rico in a group. Mexico would end up going 1-2, finishing last in this group in the last tournament that they hosted. I do think it is very, very likely that we will see within the next couple tournaments a bracket held in Mexico, especially in Mexico City with the new Diablos Rojo Stadium, a state-of-the-art facility. MLB games have already been played there. It seems like a no-brainer that World Baseball Classic would want to play in Mexico. Also taking into account how good Team Mexico did in the last tournament and all the hype around the team, it seems like the WBC would want to get a bracket out there with Mexico as the home team as fast as possible. So let me know in the comments down below if you think that Mexico will be a host nation for one of the next World Baseball Classics. Personally, I do have my money on it, but I want to hear what you guys think. Alrighty, and hopping in next is not necessarily a country, but I do think it deserves its own spotlight. It's Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has already hosted 2 tournament rounds, and going into the 2026 World Baseball Classic, there will be another round being hosted in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The previous tournaments that Puerto Rico did host was in 2006 and 2013. All tournaments have been hosted at Hiram Bithorn Stadium, and this stadium will be rocking when Puerto Rico takes the field in 2026 in front of their home crowd. This is one of the brackets that I am most excited for the next tournament. I do think it is going to be crazy there, and I think the competition is the most even of any of the brackets that we see in this 2026 tournament. The stadium has a total capacity of just over 18,000, and since there's already been 2 tournaments played there and there's going to be another one in 2026, it does seem likely that even after his 2026 tournament, they will continue to have brackets in Puerto Rico. With our 4th nation/territory out of the way, I do want to hop into our 5th, and this is going to be South Korea. South Korea hosted the 2017 World Baseball Classic. They hosted a group stage there at the Gocheok Sky Dome. The Sky Dome has a capacity of just under 17,000, and it is a dome stadium. Dome stadiums do seem to be the stadiums of choice for the World Baseball Classic, with the fear of rainouts and delaying any games. So I do see this as a very, very likely possibility for future World Baseball Classic games. In 2017, Korea would host Taiwan, the Netherlands, and Israel, where Korea would go 1-2 in front of the home crowd. But to the point of the World Baseball Classic returning here, the KBO is booming in Korea, and there are lots of high-profile Korean players in the MLB right now. So it does seem like at some point the World Baseball Classic will make its return to South Korea. Alrighty, and hopping into our next host nation, and that is going to be Taiwan. Taiwan has hosted the tournament twice, once in 2013 and once in 2023. Both tournaments were hosted at the same stadium, and that's Taichung Intercontinental Baseball Stadium with a capacity of 20,000. And if you tuned into the last World Baseball Classic, you would have seen how crazy this place was and how crazy it went for the home team. It does seem unlikely though that this stadium will be the future of international baseball that is held in Taiwan. In 2023, the Taipei Dome opened, which has a capacity of 45,000, and it is a dome stadium. If you tuned into the qualifiers for the 2026 World Baseball Classic, you would have seen this stadium in play for the first time on the international stage. And this place was electric, let alone it is a dome, which we do know that the World Baseball Classic loves its domes. So it does seem like for the future of international baseball in Taiwan, especially World Baseball Classic wise, the Taipei Dome will likely be the next place that it is held at. Alrighty, last but definitely not least, we're moving into our last country that has hosted World Baseball Classic games, and that is going to be Japan. Most of the World Baseball Classic games hosted in Japan are at the Tokyo Dome, which is the most iconic stadium by far in Japan. In the 2023 World Baseball Classic, the Tokyo Dome was featured prominently, where it was a part of pool play and it was part of the quarterfinals, where Team Japan did go 5-0. Looking to the future, the Tokyo Dome will be featured in the 2026 World Baseball Classic as well. Japan has never hosted a final game, but with the popularity of baseball in Japan and how they are taking over the World Baseball Classic, it does seem like someday it will come where Japan will be hosting the final for the World Baseball Classic, which in my book would be awesome. Japan is always electric and by far deserves to host the championship game for the World Baseball Classic. I think that would be awesome for the country and just for baseball as a whole for Japan to host that championship game. Let me know what you guys think about Japan hosting a championship game down the capacity of the Tokyo Dome is 55,000, and when Team Japan is playing there, that place is sold out. There is never a seat available. Moving in the future World Baseball Classics, it does seem like there will always be a Japan bracket and there will always be a USA bracket, and the other two are going to be the ones that are going to be moving. But USA and Japan is the two staple countries for a World Baseball Classic, just seems fitting. And that is the 7 countries that have hosted World Baseball Classic brackets so far. But there are 3 more countries that I would like to mention, and these are countries that have hosted World Baseball Classic qualifiers but have never hosted the main tournament. There have been 3 countries that have hosted World Baseball Classic qualifiers but have never hosted the main tournament. That is Germany, Australia, and Panama. Germany hosted the 2013 and the 2023 World Baseball Classic qualifiers in Regensburg. Australia hosted the 2017 World Baseball Classic qualifier in Sydney. And last but not least, Panama has hosted the World Baseball Classic qualifiers for 2013 and the 2017 tournaments. Panama, of all these countries, does seem the most likely to move up the ladder and host a WBC main tournament game sometime in the future. They have a stadium that holds 27,000 people in Rod Carew National Stadium, and they are close enough to other neighboring baseball countries where they could definitely put a good pool together and draw a decent crowd for other countries. But now that we are through the 7 countries that have hosted World Baseball Classic games and the 3 that have hosted qualifier games, I do want to thank you guys for tuning in on this World Baseball Classic video. With the World Baseball Classic being right around the corner, I'm going to be pumping out a lot of different content. So I would like you guys to join me for the ride. If you could subscribe, like, leave comments down below. I want to interact with you guys. Let me know your opinions on these countries, the host, and where maybe the World Baseball Classic will be going next. Till next time, thank you guys so much.